So he's going to be talking to us much more about those academies, what to expect, our vision, Synergy's vision coming out of convention. He looked incredibly great, right, at our gala ceremony. For those of you that watched, we were able to see him there. He was the opening speaker for the gala. And, we all have to make that decision to make sure that he's there in that top 10 for all of WFG and making sure that we're representing Synergy strong for the next WFG convention. So let's give a warm welcome. Take your notebooks out, be ready. Let's be focused, minimize distractions right now for our Senior Executive Vice Chairman, Mr. Daniel Charlier. Thank you, everyone. Good morning.
All right. All right. Good morning. First of all, great job, Pavi. This is a fired up Pavi, huh? Great job. Great job. I was listening to you. As you were talking this morning. I was just so fired up and so excited and just seeing your journey and going to the next level and fired up. And congratulations, SMD. And I know you're going to get to Hawaii, get your ring thing done the third and fourth quarter of this year. And man, what an awesome, awesome convention. Jeez Louise, man. It's just an amazing, amazing time. I mean, we were at the, I think I'm like totally red right now. I know my wife's going to see that. She's going to come in here and play around with it. I think I feel like I look like a tomato right now. My head is orange. Do you guys see that? Am I orange? Charles, you're laughing. I must be orange. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I'm sure it'll get fixed. I got a lot to talk to you guys about. But convention, you guys, I know you guys were watching it online, but literally it was just like an amazing, amazing, amazing event. I mean, I felt like this year, like we were actually at the Academy Awards. Did you guys like the DJ on stage? You know whose idea that was? That was Tom's idea, Dempsey's idea. Dempsey can rap. He can what do they call that when you dance and you put that. So next year, right? So you guys are not supposed to know this, but next year, what he's going to do next year, they're going to put the cardboard boxes on the floor and they're going to do that. The dance they used to do in the 80s. What's that called? Yeah, they're going to break dance. They're going to have the DJ on stage. They're going to do some break dancing. So we were talking about that backstage. We had such a great time. And I tell you guys, I had a lot of meetings. I had a lot of meetings when I was in Vegas. I mean, if you guys know what the future, I met with Tom. I met with the marketing officer, WFG Marketing. Oh my God, some of the stuff that's getting ready to come out. She was responsible actually for what's going on at the advertising at Howard University with WFG, the article that just came out. She's responsible for the Black Wall Street that just came out. There's so many, you know how we had the partners panel? There's going to be like a singles panel. There's going to be like, if you have a wife, if you're a woman, you have a wife, there's going to be a panel. There's going to be all kind of freaking panels. Like, you guys have no idea like where we're going. This company has transformed so much, and we just begun, you guys. We just begun. I want to go over a couple of things with you guys. If you can pull up my PowerPoint, because I got a lot of stuff for you guys this morning. But it's going to be an exciting thing. I want you to get your head wrapped around seeing the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years in this environment. When I went to my first convention in 1998, one of the decisions that I made is that I was going to be here long term. This wasn't like a 1-year deal. This wasn't like, well, if I make some money, I'm going to see how it works. I knew that this is where I was going to have my future long term. Let me share with you why. There's 5 factors that I want you to consider that affects our lives, right? And all of you are here because you want to have a great life. I know you have goals. You want to get to SMD. You want to get to 100,000. You want to get to $250,000. That's great. But there's 5 factors that affect our lives. Here's the first one: environment. right? I want you to think about the WFG environment, right? You know, I said this at our talk last week. I talked about this is a personal self-improvement package tied to a high compensation, right? So when you talk about our environment, that fosters growth, that fosters encouragement, praise, recognition. I talked about that a little bit on stage on Friday at the gala, right? The three things that that everybody wants, you know, but everybody wants to make a difference. Everyone wants to make money. Everyone wants to be recognized. You think about, you know, I was looking at the setup on the gala night, right? And it was like it's the same exact way that they do the Academy Awards, right? And you think about that. You think about growing up in that environment where now not only are you winning for you and your family, not only you helping other people win, but the way we celebrate it. You know what I mean? Whether it's fast start schools, whether it's retreats, whether it's galas and award ceremony, wouldn't this be an awesome environment for you to for your kids to be raised up in that kind of environment, right? So that's one. Second to is events. You know, we make life-changing decisions not in our natural environment. These events are you think about this, you guys. You think about WFG, what WFG has to do. We move my PowerPoint a little bit. Who's clicking my PowerPoint? Okay, go back. I'm still here. You think about events, right? We make life-changing decisions in our natural, not in our natural environment. Why do you think that we're doing these events like the kickoff meeting? The kickoff meeting, I got so many great feedbacks about the kickoff meeting. The retreat that we did before that with the graduates of the Elite Circle and NLGA, right? All these events where you're making adjustments, you're getting around, you're getting around other leaders, right? Other leaders that are doing incredible things. You're masterminding. Saturday, I think it was Friday night. Friday night, we stayed up till like 3 o'clock in the morning. Friday night after the gala. I mean, we're just masterminding all the different leaders, talking about so many different things. Tom Dempsey, the president, he was up all the way up to like 2:30 in the morning. I ran into him by the elevator. He's just fired up, just excited, just all the leaders, just energy. And one of the things that we talked about that night, the person with the most amount of energy wins every single time. You got to have energy, right? So like, for example, this morning, one of the first things that because I got a long day today, one of the first things that I did this morning is boom, I got to get my energy right. So for me, right, I jumped on my bike, did a 9-mile ride, right? Did a 9-mile ride, drank a bunch of water and make sure that my energy is right because I got a whole day today of things I want to do, right? So in building a big base shop, in building your business, I want you to be conscious of energy because when you go to these events, you got to have energy because you're getting up early and you're staying up late and you never know what you're going to miss. So you got to stay till the end, right? You got to stay till the end. So that takes a lot of energy. Number 3, 5 factors that affects our lives. Knowledge. You know, one of the things I want to challenge you with, because a lot of times you're going to hear things that you might not necessarily understand it, right? But here's one of the things I want to challenge you with. You have to raise your WFG IQ. You have to raise your WFG IQ. What do I mean by that? You have to immerse yourself in this. You got to become a student of it, right? You got to become a student. So guess what? That means that you never miss a meeting. You got to get to all the meetings. And what's great about our business now, you guys, we have all the meetings recorded, right? So don't just wait for Wednesday. Try to get as much information as you possibly can in every area to raise your IQ. I'll give you an example, right? So yesterday, Jay calls me yesterday. He's like, Coach, I want to talk to you. Oh my God. He shoots me a text, right? Right before he goes to church. And he shoots me a text. I'll read you the text that he sends me, right? He sends me this text and it says, he says, he says, he said, we're about to make a big shift. It all hit me at this event. We get it now. We've been doing it the hard way, right? So he sends me this text. So we jump on the phone. I'm on my way back from Vegas. We jump on the phone and he tells me with exactness, like, first of all, he says, he's like, coach, like, we're doing everything right, right? Because he understands his metrics, recruiting, NPR, licensed agents, boom, boom. And he says, I found, he said, you know what's crazy? He said, you know what's crazy, coach? You told me this 6 months ago. It wasn't 6 months ago. It's like 3 months ago while we were in the Growth Academy. I said, you told me this exact thing to make this shift while I was at the Growth Academy. Then you brought Rich Stolley to give the same message. And I heard it, but I wasn't really listening. But when I got to this event, I said, and he told Ronnie, he said, Ronnie, he says, pull up all the top recruiting base shops, right? So he pulled up all the top recruiting base shops, right? And he says, pull up the top recruiting base shops that also have big production numbers, right? And he did the math on that, right? And he says, all the big base shops that have big production numbers, you know what they all have? Says they're averaging about 4,000 points per app. He says, here's what we're doing. Here's what we're doing wrong. He's talking about him and his team. He said, what we're doing, we have the big recruiting numbers, but our average per app, what happened in my PowerPoint? Our average per app is only 1,500 points per app. He says, the only thing that we need to adjust, right? Because their NPR, this is Jay, his NPR is 94%. The only thing he needs to adjust, right, is his market, to get in a better market, and then having a strategy on how to get in better market. Now, why do I tell you that? Well, he has a high IQ for the business. You follow me? So you gotta know this. You gotta understand the business. That means that you gotta put some time in. You gotta be a student of it, right? You gotta go out and get results. There's certain things you're not gonna learn. Like if your car is parked and you got the car on park, that means you're not moving anywhere. It's very hard to learn how to drive if your car's on park. So you got to get out there. You got to mix it up. You got to start making some calls, inviting people to the BPM and doing some one-on-ones and kitchen tables and all of that stuff. You got to mix it up. You got to start working so this stuff starts making sense to you. Okay. And here's the other factor, right? You got to get results. At the end of the day, here's what moves people, right? What moves you is that you got to get results. At the end of the day, if you're not getting results, right, then there's some feedback that you got to get, right? And there's also some feed forward, right? Because the results, what happens when you get results, you get something very important, which is what's called moral authority. People want to follow people that they feel like if they're following them, that they're going to win. And here's the last one. The last one is that there's always got to be a dream. There's always got to be, man, I hope you cast your dream even bigger this weekend. My wife and I, we were sitting at the gala. And I was like, babe, I said, you know what the next 10 years are going to look like when we go from 1 million to 3 million to 8 million to 12 million to 15 million, what the team's going to look like. And oh my God. And she's like, oh my God, because she's in the environment. She's in the gala. She's seeing all. I was like, babe, we just begun. The biggest leaders in our company, the biggest leaders on our teams are being recruited right now, right? the future is so freaking bright, right? So when you take a look at your dreams, right? Dreams needs to be the greatest influence on your daily decisions and activities, right? I'm going to read that again. Pull up my PowerPoint. Dreams need to be the greatest influence on your daily decisions and activities, right? Now you got to go from dreaming to doing, right? Now here's what I mean by that, right? Every day when you wake up, there's going to be like a movie camera in your mind, right? I want you to think about this. You're up, you just got up this morning, and in your mind, there's two movies in your mind. One movie that's playing is all your fears, all your worries, all your frustrations, all your doubts, and all the things that you worry about, right? And worry, and by the way, worry and faith cannot coexist, right? I want to share something with you on this. I put it in my notes, right? Let me find it real quick. I want you to write this down. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, here we go. Faith is compromised by pessimism. Faith is compromised by pessimism. So you just got up, and there's two movies you can look at. One is all your fears, your worries, your frustrations, your doubt, your anxieties, right? And all the things that can go wrong, all the things that you worry about. By the way, 98% of the stuff you worry about never freaking happen. Worry is a wasted emotion. Now, let's talk about the other movie. The other movie is the possibilities, are your dreams. We talk about if you want to build a team, you got to sell the dream, right? So you talk about your dreams. You start to think about where you're going, right? You start to think about, man, designing your life and all of that stuff. And as you start to think about that, right, and you start to visualize that, I want you to pay attention to how you feel. So our meditation and silence and prayer is so powerful, right? Because now, right, I'm fired up, I'm excited. Now, that takes you about 15 to 20 minutes. You read your plan, read your affirmations, boom, all this stuff. Now you got to move your body, right? You got to move your body. You got to get some energy, right? Get a quick workout, go for a quick run, jump on a bike. It's like I did this morning. I did a 30-minute ride, did 9 miles in 30 minutes, right? Move your body, get a sweat on, right? Because you're going to need energy, right? The future is viewed with anticipation or apprehension, right? So you got to anticipate great things happening in your life. I love that, Tanya. You jump rope for 20 minutes. That's awesome. Anticipation for the future comes when you design it and plan it in advance. Do you have a game plan? Right? Do you have a game plan? Do you know, if you're a training associate right now, do you know what it takes to go from training associate to associate? Do you know, if you're an associate, do you know what it takes to go from associate to senior associate? If you're a senior associate, do you know what it takes from senior associate to go from senior associate to MD? If you had $50,000 a year, can you show me exactly how you're going to go from 50,000 to 100,000? If you had 100,000, can you show me how you're going to go from 100,000 to $250,000? You follow me on that? The future should be captured, your imagination. To design it, you must have goals, right? So if you're sitting here today, right now, and you're looking at this, and you haven't even made $1,000 yet, and you're talking about you're going to go make 100, 200, you guys, let's get you to go make 1,000. Because once you make 1,000, because creating momentum is about those small successes, right? Because once we get you to 1,000, you're gonna figure out how to make 2. You're gonna figure out how to make 3. You got the first time when I got licensed and appointed, right? So I got licensed and appointed, and I go to Marlette. I was just telling this story. I was just telling this story the other day, and I go to Marlette, and I say, "Hey, man, just got my license and appointed. Just came full time. Just quit my job. Boom, full time." I go, "What do you want me to focus on?" He says, "Charlier, let me give you clear, specific instructions. Just one thing I want you to focus on. He goes, go make money, period. Wasn't like 20 different things. Go make money, period. Right? So I said, okay. I knew how to do that. I knew if I made a phone call, I scheduled an appointment, I got on the appointment, I close, right? So I got a policy. I got what we call an app. I sent that app to Western Reserve, which is Transamerica Life now, right? They sent me a check. I said, boom, I figured it out. If I send an app, they send me a check. I know how to make money. You follow me on that? So guess what? I had a goal. Every week, I would send no less than 3 to 4 apps. That means that if I don't pick up 3 to 4 apps a week, I'm not making any money. Follow me on that? I got real specific on that, right? Now, here's the thing. I started getting excited, right, about my future. I started getting excited about my future. I started to plan in advance and going, oh my God. Okay, so I started to work the numbers and going, well, if I did 5 apps, if I recruited 3 people and I field trained those 3 people, got them into licensing, right? And then field trained them, right? Got their top 25, tap rooted them, right? I started to look at what my business would look like, right? I was talking to Jing Ho. We were at our event a week ago, right? And Jing was telling me, Jing was like, I mean, I think we had this conversation at 1:00 in the morning, sitting outside, right? And you know, Jing doesn't smoke cigars, so she's she's smelling my cigar smoke, and then she's asking me all these questions, right? But one of the things that I noticed about Jing, right, we were having a conversation. She's like, she says, Dan, she says, one thing that we did, we reverse engineered everything. So if we want to hit a certain goal, right? She created software. She goes, how many calls do I need to make every day? Like literally broke down to what my daily actions need to look like every single day in order for me to hit that goal. She's very, very, very specific, right? And I was just like, that is so awesome. And then she started talking about what they do for the client across the kitchen table, how they analytically show the client where the breakdown is with the F&A, right? Very detailed. Well, guess what? She studies her craft and her team studies her craft. It's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. She made $220,000 last month. She's very specific, right? We're going to talk about that. Define your goals, pull you like a magnet. The better you define them, describe them, the harder you work on them, the more they pull you. Without goals, it's easy to settle for existence rather than substance, right? So I want you to think about your dream. Now, some of us are really good at thinking about our dream. We just don't do anything, right? You got to go from dreaming to doing. You follow me on that? So that's got to be, so those 5 things: environment, we got the best environment. Events, the events that, oh my God, the rest of the year, the 3rd and 4th quarter, between the schools that we have in place that's going to teach you all of this stuff, right? You're going to get the knowledge. We got to go in the field to get some results, right? You get some results, and then boom, you got your dreams, right? And everyone here, you have different levels of dreams, right? You got your practical dreams, you have your fun dreams, you have your meaningful dreams, you have your significant dreams, right? Because everyone here is at different levels, right? Now, let's talk about Synergy Team, our next level goals, right? Right now, as a team, we're doing about 15 million points a year, right? So we're doing 15 million points, and we're recruiting 4,600 recruits a year. You follow me? So if we're doing 15 million points right? And that's a net. That's what WFG actually pays our team. So our team is making about WFG, our team payroll is a little bit over $1 million a month. Right around last month, WFG paid our team 1.6 million. Okay, so we're averaging between 1.3 to 1.5 a month as far as cash flow for WFG pays us, right? Now, WFG paid $1 billion last year to the field force, right? So as a team, right, Synergy Financial, Base Shop, Super Base, Super Team, as a team, we want to get in the top 10. Eventually, we want to get to the top 5. Eventually, we want to get to the number 1 spot. Okay. Now, how do we do that strategically? Right? It's funny about, it's funny about the competitive spirit, right? So my wife is sitting there and she's like, oh my, because they only recognize the top 30 in the company, right? And in the top 30, you have to have a certain amount of production, a certain amount of recruiting as a team, right? Well, guess what? We're not in the top 30 right now, but we ain't that far. With this little adjustment, it's going to get us to the top 10, right? Because we got the recruiting machine. We're already doing 4,600 recruits. We're at 15 million. Now, as a team, we go from 15 million to 47 million. That sounds like a big number. You're like, oh my God, 47 million, right? Same way as a company, when we talk about going to $1 billion, right? Now, what does that mean? I want you to write this down. If we can help enough people get what they want, we automatically get what we want, right? You know what excites me about 47 million? That means that WFG paid our hierarchy $47 million in a 12-month period. Now, let me ask you a question. Do you know how many $50,000 earners we're going to have? Do you know how many $100,000 earners we're going to have? Do you know how many $250,000 earners we're going to have? Do you know how many $500,000 earners we're going to have? You know how many $750,000 earners we're going to have? You know how many $1 million plus earners we're going to have? Right? We're going to have a gang of them. Now, let me tell you what sets it on fire, though. And we talk about someone new coming and shaking it up, right? So I'm having a conversation with Olson, right? And he's like, yo, dude, he's like, man, I've been telling my team the same thing. I've been like relentless about this is what we're doing, right? So all of his leaders, like Paul Ireton, Nate Ireton, and all of those, like the Fab, the Natalie Plants and the Louise Higgs and the Steve Higgs and all of those people that were around him for a long time. And they've all got great businesses, the Schlemans and all of that. I'm just relating our team to show you kind of like same thing with him, right? So he says, I was telling all of them the same thing. Hey, this is where we're going, right? And all of a sudden, one person starts to move the dial, right? Fumbo's like, he sees this and he goes, oh my God, this is where we're going. He listens to Rich and he goes, oh my God, the metrics, what I'm going to go over, right? You know what Jing did a couple months ago, 2 months ago? I'm on my bike with Jing, right? And she's talking to me. I'm going over the metrics with her. And she's like, Coach, I'm going to go 750. That's my next move. And we start looking at the numbers. Okay, boom, move this dial, move this dial, move this dial. She moved the dials, boom. All of a sudden, she makes 200 grand in 1 month. And she just got started. Now, Jay sees that and goes, well, wait a minute. Oh my God, Jay's now uncomfortable, right? And then now it starts to create that competition and that explosion, right? Now, let me ask you a question. It's not if, when it happens, where are you going to be when this happens? Are you going to be stagnant? Or are you going to move the Dow? Right? So it's coming out the convention, see, what's awesome about our business, you guys, this is a leadership development business. This is a leadership development business. Some of you, I love all the texts. I love all the texts you guys send me. Oh my God, Dan, we're going to get you to the next level, blah, blah. That's great. And I appreciate that because I know where you're coming from. But let me tell you how our business works. It's not about getting me to the next level. It's about getting you to the next level. You follow me? Because if we can get you to the next level, everything else automatically happens. You follow me? That's the leadership development. So let's take a look at some specifics now, right? Let's take a look at some specifics. So from July 2020, I'm going to go over 15 of these. And then at the end, I'm going to give you kind of a game plan. So right now, from July 2020 to June 2021, these are actual numbers, right? Legs, number 4 deep legs. That's my base shop. That's the Charlier base shop. Got 10, right? Personal production, it's about 51,000. That's me personal. Base shop, my base shop's about 457,000 points. Not about, that's what it is. 457. Our super base, which means my base shop and my frontline SMDs, like the Jane Stanions, the Natalie Plants, the Christopher Schlamans, the Steve Hayes, and I can go on. My base shop and the super base, we're doing about $2.9 million a year. Not about, that's the number, 2.9. And our overall team, which is like the Jing Ho's, the Francis and Jings, and the Nate Ireton, the Paula Miriam Ireton, the rest of the hierarchy collectively, we're doing 15 million points, right? Now, personal, the last 12 months, 11 personal recruits, base shop, 209 recruits. That's the Charlier base shop. Super base, we did 1,100, right? And then super team, our overall team, we're recruiting about 4,600. Okay, now, goals, right? The next 12 months, right? We're gonna make a run. Now, we're gonna be breaking it down. We're gonna be breaking it down quarterly. That's why we're doing elite circles, next level growth academy. Wealth Bowl is gonna be off the chain, like literally off the chain. We're gonna be celebrating. We're doing the belts at Wealth Bowl. We're gonna be doing all of this stuff, right? Going into 2021, going into 2022, right? Tell you what the goals are. My base shop, right? My base shop, we're gonna go from 10 to 25. Right? We're gonna go from 10 to 25 legs in the base shop, right? Personal, 300,000. Base shop, 1.4 million. Super base, 4 million. Super team, 25 million. Now, recruiting the next 12 months, personal, like Sophia and I, personal, 25. Base shop, 550, super base 2,500, super team 10,000. Right? So we're gonna double the size of our team. Now, there used to be a saying in WFG, well, there is still a saying in WFG, if you want to double your income, right? If you want to double your income. So let's say, for example, Dean and Velvet, they're at $100,000. And then Dean and Velvet goes, okay, team's about to make a move. We got to make a personal move. We got to go from 100 to $250,000, right? And they look at their recruiting numbers. They go, okay, we got to double our recruiting numbers, okay? Or you can make a more even aggressive move, right? Well, doubling your recruiting numbers, that's true, right? That's true, but there's a little bit more to it than that. Okay, we're gonna get to that. Hopefully, I'm not boring you guys. I want you to look at the next slide. The next slide is Number five is extremely important. Number 5 is extremely important. Production per recruit, right? So production per recruit right now, we're doing about 2,000 points per recruit. 2,000 points per recruit, right? Now, if I pulled up, if I asked Jing right now, I said, Jing, I said, if you look at your recruiting numbers, I don't know if she's on, but if you're looking at your recruiting numbers, okay, hey Jing, if you look, and you can type it in. What is your average production per recruit in your base shop? I know you okay. So Jing right now is doing 6,000 points per recruit. You guys follow me on that? Now, some of you're listening to this and you're literally not getting it yet right now. It might seem like I'm speaking a different language. The reason that you're processing it like that is because your WFG IQ is not there yet. You guys follow me on that? There's certain things I'm going to say to you, and you don't need to feel bad about it. When I talked to Jay yesterday, he says, Coach, literally, I heard this at Growth Academy, and it didn't hit me till right now, till like yesterday. That's when it hit him, right? Because his production per recruit is 1,500. I said, Jay, I said, you realize you fix that, you're over 1 million. That's like hands down, you're over 1 million. Because he's already pulling in 800 recruits a year, and he's doing 1,500 points per recruit. If he brings his average production to 6,000, right? Boom, you're there. So right now we're doing about 2,000 points per recruit, right? So now, here's the goal. Production per personal, 25 recruits, average IUL, 5,000 points personal, right? So your average policy that you're sitting down with, you're in a market, right? I want you to write this down. Your ability to get in your ability to get in a right market will determine your level of success. Your ability to get in the right market and stay in the right market will determine your level of success. And wherever performance is measured, performance grows. So there was a time, I want you guys to think about this. There was a time when our NPR, when our team NPR was less than 60%. That means that if WFG sent us $100, right, they took back 40. You follow me? Because our NPR was less than 60%, right? And we focused on that as a team. We focused on that. And we went from 60 to 70. Now, I believe we're at 84% as a team. No, I'm sorry, 86% as a team. You follow me? So if WFG sends us $100, they take back 14, right? So our goal as a team is to get our NPR to 94%, right? So we're already at 86. So that's really not that big of it. A lot of you now, you're writing what we call quality business. WFG did $1 billion, but with a 89% NPR as a company. Do you know how valuable that is to Aegon? How valuable that is to Transamerica? That means that we have a great book of business, right? Now, production per base shop, 550 recruits. This is going to be my base shop, right? I got a call with Tanisha right after I'm done here. So my base shop, the Charlier base shop, we're going to have an emergency meeting, right? We're going to have an emergency meeting and we're going to get real specific about these goals in the base shop, right? 550 recruits in the base shop. Now my base shop, which is the CBS, right? My base shop, we're doing about 210 recruits. I think I showed you guys there. 210 recruits a year. So we need to go from 210 to 500 recruits, right? We need to go from 5 to 550 recruits. Now, if we're doing the average IUL, if the average IUL is 5,000 points. So what I'm going to be talking about to my base shop is that you should be your IULs, right? If you just have a life license and you're doing IULs, right? Your average family should be 5,000 points. That means, you know, $400 a month. They should be saving 400 to 450 bucks a month. So if you look at LA County, the average median income is $56,000 a year. They're saving 10%. So strategically, we're going to show you how to do that. Get in the right market, right? With a 94% NPR in the base shop, that's about 2.7 million points. Now, this is having a WFG IQ. You're not just going to fall and go make $250,000 and fall and go make $500,000, go fall and make 700,000, right? You got to know your craft. You got to know what this means, right? You can't walk around and wait for people to teach you this, right? You got to become a student of this. Now, average 3% monthly base shop bonus, 75,000. Average base shop override Transamerica, 370. Total annual on the base is 610,000. That's just the base, right? So now let's go to number 6, which is production per license and super team. Life 11,000, rolling 12 net points life licenses, securities 555, rolling through IAR 32. So those of you that are getting your securities license, right? Oh my God, I had an awesome conversation with Seth Miller, right? Awesome conversation with the president of the broker dealer, and Angelo that they just brought into the broker dealer to take it to the next level. You know how people say, hey, if you're going to be a personal producer, blah blah blah, and all this stuff, maybe there's better outfits in you guys. What the broker dealer, what Transamerica broker dealer is doing now, oh my God, I thought about it from a recruiting standpoint. I was like, we're to be able to go recruit the people that are at Merrill Lynch, the people that are brokers, and all of this stuff is we're creating a net where now we can attract the best of the best to our broker dealer, right? So I want you to be thinking about that. At some point, right? You have a life license now, right? And some of you say, I got a life license. I'm fully licensed. No, you're not fully licensed. You have a life license, right? Once you get your securities license, now you have a secured life. That means that you can offer all the platforms, right? My suggestion to you is this. Some of you are running to get your securities license. You haven't even made 10 grand yet. You haven't made, literally, I'm having a conversation with Fumbo. Fumbo is at SEVC, couple of $1 million a year, and he's just now getting his securities license, right? So if you're doing it premature, you need to get your business going, get your cash flow going. But eventually, you get that. You follow me on that? But if you haven't made $1,000 yet, and you're like, yeah, I gotta go get my security. No, you're building a business. You need to go make some money. Start building your team, right? And then you match that stuff out. And you build yourself an organization, build yourself a team. I'm going to talk about that later on, right? Now, production per base shop, 2,700 recruits. Average IU. Well, wait a minute. No, we're in where we're at. Okay. Production per base shop, 2,700 recruits. Average IUL 5,000 points. So we'll pick up 13.5 million gross points if our NPR is 94%, right? That gives us 12,690,000 points. Super base average override is about 18%, 1.2 million. Annual 3% bonus, 80% contract, 1.5 million. Total annual is 1.5 on the super base. Production super team, 10,000 recruits. I want you to get your head wrapped around that, right? It's not that far. That means that right now as a team, if we're doing 400 to 500 recruits a month as a team, getting that to 1,000 recruits a month, it's not really that far. I was talking to Rocky Shee, right? He just got his. I think his super team just crossed over 8,000 recruits. Might be 7 or 8,000 recruits he just crossed, right? And we're talking about the strategy with that. He's like, Dan, I just started talking about it. And I just started projecting and showing the team how we were going to double the size of the team. Same thing that we're doing here, right? So I want you to start getting your head wrapped around, right? Wrapped around going from 4,600 to 10,000. We got 10,000 recruits. Average IUL, 5,000 points, right? Average IUL that we're doing right now is 2,000 points. That's 62 million points. NPR, 94%. That's 47 million net points. Now, oh, by the way, do you think we're going to do some VULs? Do you think we're going to do some rollovers? Do you think we're going to put some money under management? Do you think we're going to do all of that stuff? Yes. I'm just showing you one vehicle. That's it. I'm not even talking about all the other stuff that's going on in there. I'm just talking about one. So I'm actually, if you have a WFGIQ, I'm actually selling this smaller than it's actually going to be. You guys follow me on that? Annual bonus, 3.7 million, override 1.1, total annual 610, right? Now, let's go to next, 7, 8, 9. Remember, I have 15 of them, all right? Recruit to license ratio. You guys saw the company talk about that, right? Number of licenses, base license 54, recruits 209. So as a base shop, right? So my base shop, right now we're licensing 26% of the people that we recruit. Follow me on that? So that's something that we have to look at and we have to get better at, right? Because we're licensing 20. So that means if I recruit 100 people, we're licensing 26 of them. Okay? So we gotta get better at that. And we're going to talk about that in the base shop, right? Super base licenses, 225, right? So we recruited 1,100. So our licensing ratio is 21%, right? Super team licenses, we have 1,255. We recruited 4,600. So we have a 27% licensing ratio, right? So we got to get better at that. We want to get that a lot higher. I'm going to go over that. So net point ratio, right now, net point ratio is 91% in the base. Our net point ratio in the base used to be in the 50s. Remember, I talked about whatever you focus, wherever performance is measured, performance grows, right? So we focused on that as a team. So my base shop's at 91%. The super base is at 96%, right? The super team is sucking oxygen right now, 80%, right? So we got to get the super team, the net point ratio in the super team. If the company is doing $1 billion and they're at 86%, our super team's got to pick it up and they got to get in the 90s, right? So those of you that are in the super team, you're already going to get letters from Chris Wolf to talk about your NPR and getting your NPR up. Okay. 12-month income, $1,045,000. Now, here's the shift, right? Oh, by the way, 12-month income, that's my income, $1,045,000, right? With those numbers. Now, here's the shift. You know how excited Man, do you know how we call possibility projection? Like you know how excited you know how excited when you know that you can achieve a goal with exactness. You know exactly what you need to do to achieve a goal. Now watch this. Watch this shit, right? I want you to think about this. Most of you are not as far as you think you are. Like the one Cofield called me yesterday, right? And he's at 400, I think he's at 440,000. And he's like, coach, he's like, man, I don't know. He's frustrated because he's not at a million. I said, Dewan, you think a million is way further than it actually is. It's just a couple of adjustments you got to make. This is what's great about the metrics, right? Now you look at this, right? Recruit to license ratio, right? Uh, base licenses, we go 275 recruits. We go from we do 275 to 550, right? So we want to license 50%. So we want to go from 26%. Now we license 50% in the base, right? Super base, we recruit 1350. We recruit 1350. We're on license 50% of them. That's 2,700. Super team, we license 5,000. We recruit 10,000. We license 50% of it. That's 5,000. Base shop net point ratio, we take it to 94%. Super base 94%. Super team 94%. Right? You know what that does? Now the team is at 45 million net points. That pays Sophia and I over $8 million a year. That ain't that far. Let me tell you why. It's a new freaking era. You follow me? It's a new era. Now, can you go double your income? Can you go make 100 grand? Can you go make $250,000? Can you go make $500,000? That it's not that big of a shift, you guys. It's not that big of a shift at all. It's all, see, there's something called depth perception. So what depth perception is, you think your success, you think that dream, you think that car, you think that home, you think that vacation that you want to get, you think that retiring your parents that you want to do is like years away. Not in WFG, not in this vehicle. It's a decision away. It's a choice away, right? If I get all fired up about that, I want to stay on point, right? So let's go to the next page, right? Now, the average age in my base is 40 years old. The hierarchy is about 38 years old. Percentage of married couples, base 35%, hierarchy 60%. Number of earners in the hierarchy, right? I want you to think about this. Right now, we have 43 people in the hierarchy that are making $50,000 plus. We got a bunch of people. Matter of fact, Velvet, if you're hearing me, I want to know how many people in the hierarchy are making $1,000 more, $2,000 more, $3,000 more, $4,000 more, 4,000 a month. Okay, $1,000, 2,000, 3,000. I want those numbers too. Right now, we have 43 people that are making 50 grand and up. We have 30 people that are making over $100,000 and up, right? In our company. We have 10 that are making $250,000, 3 that are making $500,000, 2 that's over $1 million. Okay. Now, number of registered reps, IAR, 3 registered reps, right? Super base, 22 registered reps. Super team, 85 registered reps. Those of you that have their licenses. Now, here's our goal as a team, right? Average age, we want to go from base, right? And this, I was telling Jing this earlier, because Jing, her average age is a little bit older. I was like, Jing, I said, you got to go get the kids, right? Because her average age was like 50, 55, 60. I was like, Jing, I'm 55. I go recruit a bunch of guys that are 55. 10 years from now, they're 65. right? I want to still get the guy that's 55. But if you recruit me, you didn't go find Justin because Justin's 30. You follow me? You recruit me, you need to know I got Danny. Danny's 13. 5 years from now, he's 18. This is what I was telling Jing about. I said, Jing, find out who the grandkids are. Find out if they had kids, all this stuff. And that's the generation that you want to get. You follow me on that? You think about it. You think about, for example, right? Look at Jay, right? Jay and Ronnie's 31. Jay's dad is, I believe he's like 52, 53, right? Jay's dad overrides his son. That's his retirement plan. You follow me? So he's overriding Jay. He's making 10, 12 grand a month. So imagine you're recruiting people that are in that age group, right? And then now you're selling them a vision, right? You recruit the family, right? You get in that. So strategically, you want to get between 25 to 40. Hierarchy, 25 to 40 years old, right? Base shop, percentage base shop married couples, 50%. Hierarchy, 75%. Number of earners, right, in the hierarchy, right? So now we go from having 43 $50,000 earners to 100. We go from having 30 people making 100,000 to 60 making 100,000. We go from 10 making $250,000 to 20 making $250,000. We go from 3 making $500,000 to 10 making $500,000. We go from 2 $1 million earners to 5 $1 million plus earners, right? Number of registered reps, we go from 3 to 10 IAR, 50 registered reps in the super base, and 125 in the super team is registered reps, right? Last slide. Now, number of reps who made sales last month, we had 50. So you think about it, we had 50 people that actually made a sale, that actually closed business. Are you making multiple sales per family? At least 18% of the time, right? That means that your ability to move more than one product across the kitchen table, right? Number of reps based on who made a sale $1,000 last month, 15 reps over 250 plus, right? Number of reps who made last sale month, we're going to go from 50 to 200, right? At least 30% of the time, we're going to go from 18% to 30%. So we're going to show in all of our trainings now, we're going to show how, like one of the trainings I'm going to have Jing do is based on the conversation that her and I had a week ago. I'm going to have her show you, right? I'm going to have her show you exactly like when she sits down with a client like she puts it together like an architect. And she says, Dan, she says, the way I put it together, no does not exist. An objection cannot come because she's putting it together as an architect, right? We'll do all that kind of training. And if you don't have your securities license, you just have your life license, right? Right? The life products, you get the sale on the life product, securities license, they write that. That's part of your field training. That's how I learned the business. I did 120 field training appointments without any licenses, but that's how I learned the business. So by the time I got my license, I knew what to do. Most of you don't get it because you don't want to do anything till you got a license because you're thinking to yourself, oh my God, I don't make any money. Well, guess what? You get the licenses, you still don't make any money because you don't know what you're doing. You follow me on that? We're going to train on that mindset. That's the WFG IQ, understanding the higher laws. So number of reps who made $1,000, 20, 30 reps over $250,000 plus. Now, next action step. Okay, this is action step. So you're sitting here right now. You're fired the hell up. You're excited. You're like, Dan, what do I do specifically next? Okay, now, Pavi talked about it a little bit. Now, if you're a training associate and associate, so you ask yourself, hey, am I a training associate? Am I associate? Yes, you're a training associate and associate. Remember my first slide? My first slide went in environment. You need to be in an environment. Let me pull up my okay. I wrote some notes down on my phone this morning after my meditation. Don't join the easy crowd. Go where the expectations are high. Get around people who will help in these areas. Go where the pressure to perform is high. That's the only way you grow. Now, ask yourself a question. What kind of person do I need to become in order to get what I want? Right? The answer to that will give you some personal development goals. Now, two things you got to look at. Either I have to change my wants or I have to change myself. Right? Team's moving. This is where we're going. You could be in the right environment with the right leadership, with the right compensation, and get left behind. You follow me? No one's going to get left behind. You follow me? Even if you're going through a tunnel right now, and you ain't, by the way, you know that whole saying, if you're going through a tunnel and you see there's a light at the end of the tunnel, you know that saying? And then there's another saying, that light might be a train coming at you. You know, all the stuff that people say. But even if you're going through a dark tunnel right now, you guys, you keep your eyes open and you keep moving, and your eyes will adjust. I hope you guys know that. Your eyes automatically start to adjust, right? And then you'll see that little light that comes in. I remember the first time I got my first check, it was like $600 or $500. I was like, oh my God, if I can make 6, man, I can make 1,000. If I can make 1,000, I can make 2. Well, guess what? Elite Circle, right, is that environment that we want to get you in for you to grow, right? Because you're not going to do it by yourself. This is about community. This is about community. This is about environment. We're going to have a lot of fun. You're going to be challenged. You're going to have senior leaders that are going to be that are going to be your instructors, right? And a lot of you have been through Elite Circle, right? Nikki Cannon and Natalie Plant did an amazing job for Elite Circle, right? You want to get in that. Now, here's the next thing. I know you're going to Elite Circle, but how many people on your team you got going to Elite Circle? Some of you been through Elite Circle, right? You ask Natalie, she's done it 6, 7 times. Most of our leaders have done it Elite Circle, but every time they've done it, they brought more and more people through that environment. You follow me? Environment. You're a senior associate in MD. Maybe you're like a Jonathan Poole, like all these guys are senior associates and MDs, right? The Next Level Growth Academy with Schleiman and Nate. Oh my God. This is the next level of SMDs. This is the next generation leaders, right? You want to get in that, like the Lauren Steins. You want to get with that group. That is an environment. You follow me? That's your peer group. Now you're with the Tanisha Lafayette's and all these MDs. And I could go Nelson, all these MDs that are teeing it up. You want to get in that. You're a senior associate, an MD, right? You can't afford not to be in that environment. Right? All the goals, like you see what the team goals are, what we're going to do, we got to scale it back to you. right? So we're going to provide you with the information as you're doing your field, but you're also going to be part of that environment. I want you to hear me on this. Environment overpowers will. Environment overpowers will. A lot of times you're not competitive because you're not in a competitive environment. You're keeping yourself away from the competitive environment. The only way to grow is you got to get close to the heat. You can't be afraid of the heat. You can't be afraid of being in a room. You can't shrink when you get in the room. You can't hide underneath your pillow. You got to face it. It's the only way you're going to grow. You're going to allow yourself, to feel disturbed. That's what compels you to go to the next level. You follow me on that? And then the Growth Academy, the SMDs and above. The graduates from the last Growth Academy will go to Miami next month, right? Every single person you recruit, every single person on your team needs to be enrolled in these 3 academies. You guys follow me on that? And those 3 academies, everything we do is going to be in alignment with what the overall overall goal of the team is. You follow me? This ain't freaking rocket science, right? And we're gonna have tons of fun doing it. Now, having said that, I want you guys to take pictures of this. Elite Circle Next Level Growth Academy. We already have the dates on that. Okay, I want you to take pictures of that. Take pictures of that so you have it, so you can plan out your schedule with you and your team. The Growth Academy for the SMDs and up, right? Those are the dates right there for the Growth Academy, right? The Wealth Bowl, and I'm going to close with this. The Wealth Bowl, the 2021 Wealth Bowl, we already have the venue. It's going to be the same venue at the Harrah's Resort and Spa, right? That's going to be incredible, right? You're going to have an opportunity. If you want to attend live, you can attend live. I highly encourage that you attend live, right? But if you don't want to attend live, you want to do it online. You guys saw at the event, at the kickoff meeting, our game is really tight on that, right? But Schleman, we got to have a DJ on stage. That was like, that's a done, right? We got to get a DJ on stage. That was so much fun. Now, at our Wealth Bowl, which is going to be in the beginning of December, right? Which is going to be freaking awesome, right? Awesome. We're going to have, oh my God, I can't even disclose to you all this stuff. But here's the deal. Our Wealth Bowl opens up, ticket sales open up this week. I told Schleman yesterday, I said we needed to have that open up like today, right? That means get registered for the Wealth Bowl, like ASAP, right? So 3 things. 1, boom, I'm going to Elite Circle, right? I need to get in the Elite Circle if I'm a TA and associate. 2, if I'm a senior associate and MD, boom, I need to be at the Growth Academy. I mean, the Next Level Growth Academy. If I'm an SMD and up, boom, I got to be the Growth Academy. Wait till you see what I got planned for the SMDs and up. It's like, woo, it's going to be freaking hot. I mean, hot. So it's going to be exciting. Now, you guys, 85% of this is hard work. You follow me? 85% of this is hard work, right? Now, we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to have a tremendous amount of fun as a team, right? We're going to have we got great environment. We're going to have some awesome events. You're going to learn a lot, which means that you're growing. You're becoming a better person. You're becoming a better version of yourself, right? You're getting results. How do you Most people, their challenge is they want to feel fulfilled. They want to have a life of purpose. They want to be happy, right? They want to feel like they're progressing. They want to feel like they're growing. They're getting better. I want you to think about this. Anytime you get any type of progress, you get a promotion, you get a new watch, you get your $50,000 watch, you get your $100,000 watch, you have your record cash flow, right? You make an extra 2 to 3, 4,000. See how excited you are? That's because you're progressing. It's not just about making the money. It's about progressing. It's about you set a goal and you actually hit that goal. You follow me? That's where the fulfillment comes in. And then we'll talk about what we're doing after that. I want you to allow the number one thing. Remember, I told you the number one thing that you got to be doing is that there's got to be a new dream that you cast that fires you up and you get excited. You're excited about that. Okay. So that's the game plan, you guys. That's the game plan after convention. I'm so excited for you guys. I'm telling you, and then can you imagine going into 2022 at our annual convention in Vegas? We're the company already signed a contract, by the way. We've got the Grand Arena. We have the Grand Arena at the MGM. The MGM. Synergy Financial, our team, we made an aggressive move. They don't even know we're coming. They have no idea what's going to happen to them, right? You guys, I don't think it. I freaking know it. I freaking know it. So guess what? You got to huddle your team. Got the game plan. We met with coach this morning. We got the game plan. We got the strategy. You got your metrics down. And we're going to go get after this thing. Thank you. And we're going to have by the way, we're going to have a lot of fun. Don't forget about that, right? So those of you that graduate Elite Circle and Next Level Growth Academy and Growth Academy, we're going to announce, wait till you guys hear where we're going in 2022. Oh my God, wait till you guys hear. You guys don't just get in Elite Circle, graduate. Don't just get in Next Level Growth Academy, graduate. Don't just get in Growth Academy, graduate. Because those of you that graduate, whoo, man, I'm rolling that out. I'm rolling that out at the Wealth Bowl. It's going to be exciting, right? And we're going to have a lot of fun. All right, you guys, have a great morning. See you guys at the top.